Middays from the Mississippi Trade Mart. We're at the Mississippi Construction Education Foundation Skills USA competition. We have temporarily relocated the Element Wealth Studios down to the beautiful Mississippi Trade Mart. Joining us now right here in the studios, Wendy Clemens. Stephanie Lee, the Executive Director of the Mississippi State Board of Contractors. I'm sorry about that, Stephanie, looked at the wrong hour. Appreciate you coming on. This is just a great event. I just checked in there, and the projects are coming along, aren't they?
Yes, they are. Fantastic work by the students in there.
The team competition in particular got my attention because those are some pretty big structures that they're building. And when I went through there this morning, it was just a framework, and now they're all getting covered up and they're getting all that stuff done. So that is truly fascinating. What is the relationship of your organization, the State Board of Contractors? How do you guys get involved with this?
Well, the Mississippi State Board of Contractors is involved with supporting MCEF. Actually, about 25 plus years ago, leaders in the construction industry realized that we would be facing a workforce shortage. So they decided to do something about it, and what they did was petition the legislature to add an additional fee onto the license fee for contractors.
Okay.
And we collect that fee and then in turn disperse all that money back exclusively for construction education and craft training at various high school programs through the MCEF Foundation, as well as community colleges and universities.
Okay, so was the foundation, it was the idea, my understanding, of the private sector.
Correct.
Is that right?
Yeah,
okay.
Leaders in the construction industry, like I said, petitioned the legislature to self-impose an additional fee, which we collect, and then in turn, they, in that same piece of legislation, created the Mississippi Construction Education Foundation, and then those funds are dispersed to them.
That sounds like a very worthy investment, though. I mean, they're investing in their futures, and they're investing in their future workforce, essentially.
Exactly, and that's exactly what it was for, is to help ensure that we have an adequate workforce in Mississippi.
Are there similar programs in place in other states?
There's some other states that have, construction education programs, and then we've actually, I have worked with a couple of other states, and I'm talking to a couple of other states right now that want to mirror our program.
Oh, okay.
So we're hoping that we can share our ideas and our processes with those other states to help in those areas as well.
Haven't been able to hold this event the last 2 years, right?
That's correct.
Yeah, because of the COVID situation, it's good to get back, but this facility is incredible, isn't it?
Yeah,
isn't it nice?
It is very nice being over here, a little more room to spread out, and I think everybody's really excited to be down here at the new Trade Mart.
And so I assume that just looking at the posters, the boards up in front of all the various construction areas, I would assume that most of those involved in the judging, which are from the private sector, from the industries that are associated with the construction projects, those particular trades, are your members.
That's correct. They're license holders through the State Board of Contractors.
And it's got to be quite the honor for them to get selected to participate in this and serve as a judge. That's pretty cool. Yeah,
and I know that they really appreciate them volunteering their time to come down here. And they have an interest in ensuring, that this goes forward and that these students and apprentices are trained and doing good work, because that benefits them in the long run.
Yeah. How many members do you have in the board?
Board members or
board
license
members
holders?
The board members first,
okay. We have 10 members on the Board of Contractors and then 5 residential standing committee members. So our board is a comprehensive board that licenses residential as well as commercial, road builders, electricians, all the different trades.
And how are they appointed? Who holds those appointments?
Board members are appointed by the governor to 5-year terms. Those are staggered terms, and they're all members of the construction industry, residents of the state of Mississippi, and then have performed in their respective trades for at least 10 years.
Okay, so the governor does appoint all 10 members, right?
Correct.
Okay. And then license holders, how many of those do you have?
We have over 10,000 license holders. Actually, it's probably a little closer to about 10,500 plus. And that's some of the highest numbers that we've had since I've been with the agency, and I started with the agency back in 2008.
Yeah, and it's almost without question, is it not, any sort of construction project where a buyer, an owner, is going to hire a contractor pretty much require that license.
Yeah, so for new residential construction over 50,000 or residential remodeling over 10,000 requires the license. And then on the commercial side, all commercial contractors, generals and subcontractors over 50,000 is required to have a state license.
Okay. And as I recall, there's a test that has to be completed. Is that right?
Depending on the classification of work that you're doing, there may be a trade exam.
Okay.
So commercial building construction, residential construction, of course, have an exam. But there are some specialty classifications that don't have a trade exam.
Okay. Gotcha. And there's a fee as well, an annual fee? Is that how it works?
It's an annual fee. The license is good from 1 year from the date of issuance. So for residential applicants, it's a $50 fee, and then commercial applicants, it's $400 fee, and then annual renewal. And actually, this is the 70th year that the board has been in existence. We were created in 1952, and the fees have only been raised twice in that 70 years. Wow. And both times it was associated with this fee that's collected exclusively for construction education.
That's amazing. How important is it to those that are in the industry to keep this talent here in the state of Mississippi to fill these jobs?
Oh, it's extremely important. We want to make sure that, we have good students that are doing good work. We have a lot of good vocational programs and construction education programs at the community college level and the university level. And it's, important for Mississippi that we keep that talent here in the state. And
then, of course, the formation of Accelerate Mississippi with Ryan Miller is the executive director there. He's on the program later on in the hour. That seems to be a valuable piece of this puzzle as well, does it not, in getting our workforce prepared and trained and out there working and filling these jobs? Yeah, that's correct. And I just met Ryan a few moments ago and look forward to working with him moving forward. Yeah. What about construction projects in the state of Mississippi? Do you have any visibility into that? What the trend is like? Are we on an upward trend, kind of level year over year, or does it look like it's improving? The last couple of years, it's just exploded. Yeah. So from all different sectors, residential as well as others, when COVID first hit, we thought that, we would see a decline, but it was quite the opposite, and it just exploded, and it has continued to do so. Mm-hmm. Yeah. If you just talk anecdotally to any of your contacts, they all say that if they're looking to do some sort of construction or need some sort of services at an existing property, be it residential or commercial, hard to find folks, which is why we need to get these young people trained and into the workforce. Yeah, and whenever I talk to young people, they're always looking for autonomy and flexibility, and this obviously is an occupation that offers that for them. So, and we use that to draw them in. Yeah, and it's a little different than being tethered to the desk, as many occupations require, but especially folks that are inclined to like to work with their motor skills, this is the right job for them. That's right. Yeah, and they have fun. That's the other big thing that I noticed as well, Stephanie, is when we were walking around the floor, they're having fun, they're smiling, and they just look like they're taking a sense of pride with every little task they complete. That's right. And if you, I don't know if you had a chance to talk with any of them, but they're all, super bright, very well mannered. I'm always impressed by the ones that are here competing at the competition. It seems to be a positive statement about the quality of our public education as well, does it not? Our education in general. Yeah. I think it makes a good statement for that when you see the talent and the quality of the people that we have present here today. That's a testament, I think, to our educational systems and their mentors, their instructors who take a vested interest in this as well. I would wholeheartedly agree with you on that. So, and that is something I think the state of Mississippi can take a lot of pride in. Do you see this event to the extent getting bigger? Is it? Are we having difficulty getting the youngsters to get involved in this and participate in this, or is this something that seems to be in demand, seems to be getting some traction amongst our young folks? Yeah, and
It had grown. I think MCEF would tell you that it had grown over the years, and then, of course, like you mentioned earlier, the pandemic caused them to have to cancel it for the last 2 years. But that'll get, now that the ball's back rolling, I see more and more wanting to be involved with it.
Yeah. Sure seems like it. Well, it's an honor for us to be here, and appreciate your organization, the State Board of Contractors, for being involved in this as well. It's just a good thing that when you see the private sector and the public sector and foundations get involved to produce really good outcomes, and I think this is a great example of that.
Yeah, it sure is.
Appreciate it. Stephanie Lee, the Executive Director of the Mississippi State Board of Contractors, has been our guest. We're down at the Mississippi Trade Mart in the